All right, guys, welcome back to another live episode of Muscle Discord. Every Monday, you know it, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. There's Bill Wilmore. Let's add him in. All right, hey,
Oh,
Bill, what's up? We just went
what's up,
live.
guys?
Awesome. Are you able to turn your camera landscape?
Yeah, I knew that.
There we go. This is gonna, my OCD is gonna drive me crazy. All right. It turned off your camera there, Bill, but we'll get going here. We'll wait till Bill gets situated. And so let's just go into it. We've got lots to talk about today. Again, Abbas, welcome back to the show. First, I'll introduce everyone.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Got Phil, the Jamaican Tank, back on the show. How you doing, Phil?
All right, all right.
Still looking jacked? Staying lean? I see. Good. Why not? I mean, all right. Okay, so I want to jump into some of these topics now. Some of these things that I wasn't even planning on discussing, but then I saw this clip of Tim Wilkins. Okay, you know, I didn't want to keep going on about this, but I'm going to keep the pressure on because I think it deserves to be that way with regards to what Bob continues to do in this industry, and because just a couple days ago, Bob was talking about Phil Clayhar again on his show. He couldn't stop
And they
talking
love you,
about.
bro. They love you, dude. What did you do?
Well, I help keep them relevant, man. I mean, jealousy gets you nowhere, so let them keep talking if it makes them feel good.
Yeah, Bill, we can't see you, but he'll probably show up in a second there. Yeah, Bill Wilmore is joining us for the show, so we'll get into Bill Wilmore, IFBB Pro, as well. Yeah, so again, yeah, Sean and Bob are talking about Phil Clayhar again, and you know, it is what it is, same stuff. They were so basically what they were doing on the show was talking about making a fake phone call to Jim Mannion, and Bob was pretending to talk to Jim, and it was just really bad, like just really
Flip
just
it, Bill.
It's
yeah,
not
still flip
going
it.
side. It won't let me go
Right there,
side
right
to
there,
side.
right there, bro. There you go.
That's good enough. That's good enough.
Sorry,
That's good
guys.
enough.
Perfect.
That's okay. That's good. All right. And so Bob and Sean were making fun of Phil, okay, on the show still 4 weeks after the Masters Olympia. And it's just in bad taste. Anyways, Tim Wilkins on Primetime Muscle, I'll play the clip here for you guys just to give you guys context if you haven't seen it yet. I was like, okay, Tim Wilkins, he's an MC, he's speaking out and talking about, it's very disrespectful to tell someone to retire, an athlete that works very hard, that's trying to provide for their family, Anyways, I'll play the clip and then we'll go from there. So let me just play the clip here and share it for you guys. And then we'll move on to the other topics I had here. I don't want to drag this one on too long. All right. Share my screen here. Okay, there. Hopefully the sound works. Let me know if you guys don't hear anything.
It's one thing to go on some guy's thing, go really disappointed, sorry, better luck next time, not the you I expected because you've been better in the past. That's one thing. Why are you still alive? Retire. Holy crap, why are you need to retire. Come on. Have a little decency and a little friggin' humanity. These are people with jobs and lives and families that are trying to do their best, juggle it all, and get on stage as a warrior at a level that you can possibly never imagine. The sacrifice.
You didn't hear that?
Yep.
Yep, I heard it.
Okay, so let me do it again.
It's one thing to go on some guy's thing, go really disappointed, sorry, better luck next time, not the you I expected because you've been better in the past. That's one thing. Why are you still alive? Retire. Holy crap, why are you need to retire. Come on. Have a little decency and a little friggin' humanity. These are people with jobs and lives and families that are trying to do their best, juggle it all, and get on stage as a warrior at a level that you can possibly never imagine. The sacrifice to get on stage. How about a little decency at least? Hey, sorry for your placing. Not sorry for your placing if there's a bus to run into, stand in front of it. That's just, there's a certain level of depravity that needs to quit.
Ever said in your life, Phil. You are absolutely right. There was shock on Steve's face, but not for the reason that you think there was, okay? He was very much shocked at what he saw. And you know what he saw? A flat beef jerky, dried out physique that had nothing. You go back to teaching boxing or whatever you're going to do. Hopefully you never step on an IFBB Pro stage again.
And you can see, just retire already, Phil. Like they made a freaking full long hour video about this. So, and then so you see Tim Wilkins saying, you know what, you shouldn't be talking like this about the athletes. You shouldn't say you got to retire. And then you can see in the comments here, it's just right there. He's like, where's the first comment that he made? Oh, maybe it's in this thread here somewhere. Unless he deleted it. Anyways, he's like, well, oh, right there. Okay. Bob was not mentioned. I was talking about haters in general, the lack of decorum and decency online. Okay, well, that's what Bob just did, though. So, who are you talking about? Does Bob get a pass on this, Tim Wilkins, or what's the case? So that's why I'm saying he basically called out Bob Ciccarello in his public statement on Primetime Muscle. And then now he's kind of trying to backtrack and be like, well, I was just talking in general. So there you go. Like these, you see the establishment, they can't give in. They can't just say, hey, yeah, you know what Bob said was wrong. And it's like, why can't these guys just own up to it, admit when they fuck up, and move on from it? They have to double down on it, triple down on it. And so first off, Phil, when you saw that, what did you think when Tim was saying that?
Listen, Tim knew who he was directing it towards.
Yeah.
I mean, last time he said something about Sam Sulek, he got murdered. Even though I didn't see anything really wrong with it because I kind of understood what he was trying to say. It just didn't come out right. So now he's just watching. He knows what he was saying and who he was talking about. He just didn't want to call any names. And I respect that. I mean, I don't believe where the platform he's on, which is Olympia TV, you're not going to get him calling out nobody's name, especially after what he did with Sam Sulek. So all of us know that watch that exactly know. I mean, we're not stupid. It's common sense to know what he's speaking about.
Yeah. Abbas, what's your thoughts on Tim Wilkins speaking out here?
It's great. And I absolutely agree with what he said about Sam Sulek. Also, to be honest, I don't care what. Because of the fact of the matter is, we're trying to make this sport better. And what these people are doing are pushing the wrong agenda. And that wrong agenda is taking a bunch of pharmaceuticals without caring about your health. We're trying to make this sport a longevity sport, which it's not. And you're letting this kid go up there sitting with Jay and Ronnie that has no experience except for taking a bunch of drugs, looks like pimples all over his body, and talk in front of people with the higher ups at like Jay and Ronnie and Phil. What kind of fucking experience does this kid have? Give me a fucking break. The only reason why they put him up there is because he has a following, just to keep the crowd. Yeah. And that's the straight truth. And it's whatever anybody says in the comments, kiss my ass. Because it's fucking, if the kid doesn't know anything. I mean, he looks very unhealthy, and that's not what we're trying to portray here. Okay, instead of saying like, hey, look at this guy, Phil, 51 years old, up there still grinding and kicking ass. An asshole that Bob is, instead of saying something like that, hang up, dried up, retire. Listen, you fat fuck. Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, you know what? I'll give you something though that he got right. I did come in pretty dry.
Good.
You want to say?
That's what I was going to say. Is that a good thing?
Dry as a beef jerky. You're right. I was dry. Right. I was dry. But you know what? Listen. At the end of the day, he wants to be like me, and it's just being honest. When you see people that don't support, the older bodybuilders, or I would want to say the more youthful bodybuilders, I don't consider myself old. Instead of supporting it, it's just a lot of jealousy. So, like, the more I look into anything he says anymore, it just doesn't bother me anymore because he looks like a joke. And sometimes jealousy is what drives these people to talk negative. So you just let them talk, because at the end of the day, I called him out last year to diet down and let me and him enter any show. I'll enter any show he enters, and he didn't do that. Even Sean Ray. You know what I mean? We're all within the same age. They're a little older. So show me what I need to look like on stage and see if you could beat me. So I made that clear last year. So all they can do is talk. So I just let them talk now. It doesn't even bother me anymore, honestly, Matt. It just makes them look more unprofessional and make them look completely like nonsense and a big joke. That's all it does.
Yeah, I'll continue to, find these clips of Bob fucking up and speaking out, and continue to showcase this to the world and let people remind them of. They already know who he is. But anyways, Bill, give me
Yes, sir.
welcome to the show, brother. Thank you for joining.
Well,
And
thank you.
everyone, Bill Wilmore, IFBB Pro, Bill Wilmore, and he, some of the show. Just quickly, a little recap on Bill. You got your pro card in 2005 NPC Nationals. And then you were an active pro. You did multiple shows pretty much every year from 2006 to 2012 or 14, I believe. You won the Toronto Pro Show. You've competed at the Mr. Olympia, Colorado Pro, New York Pro, Tampa Pro. You've done all these shows. So veteran in our sport, in my opinion, and you've proven yourself as a pro. So great to have you on the show, and your experience and knowledge is going to be valuable. So, Bill, just your take on this whole thing. You don't have to chime in if you don't want to talk about Bob and your thoughts, but I would love to hear if you have any opinion on any of this stuff. You're seeing the MC of the Mr. Olympia and how he talks about the athletes.
Man, I'll be honest with you, man. I don't follow a lot of. I follow bodybuilding, but I don't mean this in any disrespectful way towards any. I don't follow men arguing about stuff that what I mean. Like it's just not me.
Yeah.
I respect. I mean, like this guy, this young man, this man here. I said young man. This man here. He speaks for himself. He looks amazing. People are gonna say what they want to say. Can't nobody take that away from him. But I honestly, I don't even mean it in a negative way. I really don't follow. When I see stuff, I don't even listen to it. Because I've never been like that.
Yeah. So you have no opinion on like maybe the MC of Mr. Olympia.
I agree. No, 100%. Bob needs to be. There's a difference between critiquing people and disrespecting people. 100%. And that. But to be honest with you, I even understand why they do it. Look at the state of the world now. Anything is to get eyeballs on people, no matter what it is. I'm not saying it makes it a reason why they should be doing it, but everything is like even with Sam, it's the state of the sport. You go to the expo, you see him he has a line outside the door compared to, and you'll see somebody like a seasoned pro, and and he's got 15 people there waiting to sign autographs. So the more you put yourself out there, and sometimes people put themselves out there with nonsense, but it makes them popular.
Good point. Good point to kind of say that's the state of our industry, where a guy like Sam Sulek has a bigger lineup at his booth or whatever than if Hadi Shubin doesn't even come to the expos, but even maybe Nick Walker or whoever that's one of these top pros.
More known in my gym than pro.
Or Samson, or Samson too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that was kind of like how it was when Rich Piana came along, and he had a huge lineups, and everyone was just more interested in Rich than the pro bodybuilders. But it's interesting. I think a lot of it's because I'm not saying a lot of bodybuilders, but somebody like the top pros, they're not really charismatic, or they don't really have a big personality. Like Rich Piana had a huge personality. He swore and like spoke his mind, didn't give a shit, and people like that shit. As you can see, President Trump says whatever he wants to say. He doesn't give a shit, and now he's president. Like that's the new kind of, we want a hard ass. We want somebody who's just going to speak like we do, type of thing, not be politically correct and be perfect.
I'm definitely too old school, man. Like I come from a wrestling background. It's like me and you. We get out there, we see what happens. Whatever happens, happens. But nowadays, the talk about the event is actually more important than the actual event.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. I wrestle too, so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
you know exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
And listen, we can't change. From the time you're a kid, and then when I got into bodybuilding, it was like one of those things too. Like I was never really like a big talker kind of guy. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna bring my best. I'm gonna show you, and that was bodybuilding, wrestling, football, whatever. Yep. I'm not knocking anybody else. That really helps those guys, Sam and all those guys. Man, they're a lot more popular than I am. I can't be something that I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of kind of like the politics and things, Abbas, is there something that you want to discuss here on this while you got the opportunity? As quickly as you can before we go into the, because we only got an hour.
Quickly, all right. Politics. We're talking about politics, and people say there's, I don't know, maybe there's politics, maybe there's not politics, but I was a subject of some heavy political shit that happened in my career, which ultimately, to be honest, destroyed my career. And Bill may know of this because I came up a little bit after Bill, where back in the day, you paid your dues and you were in line, to turn pro. And there's times where first place he had paid his dues, but he wasn't in shape and he should not have turned pro. Second and third place should have turned pro. That happened to me multiple times. But this is not about being bitter at all, because if I was bitter, I wouldn't have continued doing what I did. This is just telling a story of like real shit that has happened. And I'll make this as quick as I can. So 2002 USA's, I'm third place. Troy Alves got first. Marcus Haley got second. I lost to Marcus Haley. And Marcus Haley and I were the hardest guys on stage. I lost to Marcus by 1 point. Between USA's and Nationals, Marcus broke his leg. He didn't end up going to Nationals. And I knew it was going to be between him and I. So I was like, okay, you know what? It was my time. I paid my dues. I'm going to go to Nationals, and it's time for me to win, because I was always on point anyways. Plus, my posing was always great. Very professional, and we'll get into posing. I'm sure you want to talk about that, Matt. As far as like the open posing class, we all had like posing. We had great posing back then in the day. Now it's just gone to shit. But anyways, I'm weighing at Nationals, and I see a promoter, and he's like, "Abbas, what's going on?" I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm just doing my thing, and he's like, "What's going on with this lawsuit?" I said, "What lawsuit?" And anyways, prior to 2002 USA's, maybe like 6 months prior, somebody approached me with a 2-page spread ad of a supplement company that had been using my picture for 2 years after my contract had ended. And, that's my right and my duty to sue them. If you're an NFL player, NBA player, whatever, hockey player, and they're using your image for a 2-page spread ad, you're damn right you're going to sue them. Anyway, so I, got a lawyer, sued them. But this promoter was like, "Why are you involving me in this lawsuit?" And I honestly, I didn't know what he was talking about, because nobody knew about anything. And I kept pleading with him. I said, "Listen, please tell me what you're talking about. I don't know." I said, "I got rear-ended a couple of weeks ago." He's like, "No, the one that you're involving me in." So he finally broke it down. I said, "Listen, why would I involve you in this?" He's like, "Well, ask your lawyer." So right then my heart sunk. I knew everything had went to shit. Everything was shit. I was so pissed off. I said, "Listen," whatever his name was, I said, "Give me your lawyer's name and number. Whatever charges that was incurred to you, I will take care of that. I'll give you the check within a matter of a couple of weeks. I'll get you off in a matter of a couple of hours. Please, I'm sorry. I'm a kid. I didn't know anything about this. I'm not a lawyer. This has nothing to do with me. We're just going after the supplement company. Why does this have anything to do with you?" He's like, "You should tell me that." I said, "I don't know." Anyways, 2 hours later, he was off. I cussed the shit out of my lawyer, because it was a person that I knew. And I said, "If I was there, I'd have beat your fucking ass." I said, "You just destroyed me. You just destroyed me." Nonetheless, 30 minutes after that conversation with the promoter, Quincy calls me up. Quincy Taylor, "Abbas, what the fuck just happened?" I said, "I don't even want to talk about it." He's like, "I just passed so-and-so promoter, and he said Abbas will never turn pro." Lo and behold, I got 7th. Who wins? Jojo Anteforo, who got 13th at USA's. You don't jump that quick from one show to the next. It doesn't happen like that. So go back to the USA. At 2 weeks later, gave the check to the promoter, squared off everything. I thought everything's fine. Being a man that I am, I'm a man of my word. I took care of it. Go to USA's 2003, 5th place. 2004, 5th place. They wouldn't put me next to Chris Cook, which I would destroy that kid. So I said, "You know what? Let me go to North Americans." 7 weeks later, after 2004 USA's, I go to North Americans. Everybody that beat me at the USA's, I beat all them. Turn pro. Not turn pro, but I got first place in the super heavies. But what happens? They let me lose by 1 point for the overall. I'm like, this shit is continuing. I was like, at least I was at one step. So let's just say I kept going, kept prevailing, kept coming back. There was 1 year I didn't come back. A good friend of mine passed away. That really bothered me. I couldn't do it. I couldn't get it together. Went up against Sean Roden, 2009. He wasn't even in my radar. He was like a little kid next to me. second. I mean, he gets first place. I lose by a point to him. 2010, I come back North Americans. I finally win overall. And people would come to our room, Abbas, you're going to win. You're going to win. I said, listen, I've heard this story so many times. Until the fat lady sings and says my name, I have not won shit. So by that time, 8 years pounding, going after this pro card year after year, I really didn't have a pro career. I was burnt out by that time. So it was just done. It's just sad that like people hold grudges when it really wasn't even my fault. And it's just sad that people do this because, you know, we all, anybody that gets ready for a show, Bill, Phil, everybody, Matt, we put our lives and souls on the line every damn day when we fucking diet. And it's just not cool to do that to somebody when it's a kid's dream. So, you know,
yeah. So basically, moral of the story is what politics, judges, grudges, it happens in the sport. And people can say that it doesn't. Bob Ciccarello can say that it doesn't because that's his job is to defend the judges. There are good judges out there, obviously, and there's always some bad apples, right? So it is what it is. There's always been politics in bodybuilding throughout the Olympia, everything. It's been there, done that. So it's just unfortunate, but that's a good story to tell that shit does happen. It's been happening for decades.
But I want to end off with this, Matt. I want to end off with a lot of the people these days. If they don't win their pro card within the first or second try, don't quit. Come on. I have no compassion for that. Listen, it's a journey. It's not a race.
Well,
Take your time.
Times have changed where you can get your pro card
you're
in 6 months now. So it doesn't. Right? So it's a new standard where people give up quite easily if they don't get it in 6 months. But so. Well, let's jump into the bodybuilding talk now. Let's jump into the Italy Pro. Okay, we had history made with the Italy Pro, and I want to get you guys' opinion on what you thought, what's going on with Urs Kelzinski going into an open show and you know winning the show. Yeah, so it was quite. Interesting. I did not predict Urs to win. Okay, I got that one wrong. I had Quinton winning the show, and I think I had Urs in 5th actually. So I had him top 5 still, but not first. So Phil, your take on Urs coming from Classic, outposing these guys, awesome routine, fresh looking muscle. He looked just as almost as big as Quinton in some shots. What does that say about open men's bodybuilding where you got a guy that can come up from Classic and just whoop the floor? And he beat Quinton by 6 points. No joke.
This is how I'm going to start this off. So we all watch, you know, the king of Classic Physique, Chris Bumstead, compete in the open. And I honestly believe Chris Bumstead looked absolutely phenomenal, right? Yes. We're talking about the king of kings of Classic Physique that came in the open. And there was nothing you could say. Chris' color, his posing, I believe he put on enough muscle, his shape, his structure. I can go on. And he didn't win. At the end of the day, what they kept saying, this is still bodybuilding and it's still a mass monster show and it's all about muscle, right? So, of course, when Hurst, which I love Hurst, great poser, God kills it, good looking kid. You know what I mean? He did put on some good muscle. But everybody was saying, of course, I truly believe he was going to be battling for top 2, top 3. I believe that, even though I didn't see him. No. But how can Bumstead lose? And then we come into this lineup and Urs wins. I just think it's not what ascending is not making any sense is what I want to say. It's just not making any sense to me how that's possible. Did he deserve the win? From the lineup that I saw, absolutely. I saw a lot of thick stomachs. I saw a lot of loose guts. People want to talk about me. That top 6, the only 2 people controlled their midsection was Quinton and Urs. So the 2 was definitely supposed to happen. I think Quinton faded to me a little bit at the finals. He had a little bit of striations in his upper chest. I think that he was looking great coming in the show, which I thought he was over dieting a little bit because he was coming more on a thinner side, where he looks better more on a fuller side and just coming, a little bit tighter than he did for Texas and Tampa. But like I said, it's just mixed feelings now because now everybody's going to be jumping in this now because it's like it's an open field. You know, is it really bodybuilding anymore? I don't even know. I'm totally confused.
Well, okay, good point. I thought Chris Bump should have beat Martin Fitzwater in Prague. Lots of people did. I think it was not a smart move to say, "Oh, this is bodybuilding." That's why C-Bum didn't win. Didn't make sense. Was a bad call on the judge. I think it was Steve Weinberger who was there that judged that show. Man, if C-Bum would have won, man, I think he would have come back and competed at the Olympia.
I 100% believe he would have. I do believe he would have.
And look what you did, judges. Look what you did. You scared C-Bum away. I'm not saying you scared C-Bum away, but you discouraged him, right? And now you're going to miss out on having one of the most popular bodybuilder in the world not compete at the Mr. Olympia. You lost that opportunity, guys. So good on the judges there. But it is what it is. And now look, we have Urs come in and beat a guy like Quinton and Sergio, Mark Hector. So it's just the judging isn't always consistent, and I'm glad now they're doing the right thing by rewarding the rightful guy that should have won the show, which is Urs, and he was peeled, tight waist, awesome routine. So I just kudos to Urs. Bill, what's your take on? I'm going to Bill's take on this here first. Your take on this. I know you say you don't want to watch, so maybe you don't watch this that often.
No. I didn't say that. I just said I don't watch. I watch the sport. I don't watch all the top
the other stuff. Okay, the other stuff. Yes, the drama.
Yeah. Man, I think it's great for the sport. These classic guys are going to actually start getting the respect that they deserve, and I think the judges are going to have a decision to make. Listen, I can speak from experience with myself. I believe that some of these guys are trying to keep up with these guys that are super, super big, and it's not even their fault. I'm speaking from an athlete standpoint. Just say you need to be bigger legs, Bill, bigger arms. Keep doing that, okay? You keep trying. Waist starts getting thicker.
Yep.
Can't hold your midsection. It's actually not even just the athlete's fault. It's like, you can't tell yourself you're only going to put on size in your legs. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work like that. So what happens is the waistline starts getting bigger. Everybody's super jacked and you got to be fuller. Okay, try to get fuller. What do? You eat more food. And it's just that's the pattern. I think this is great for the sport because you're seeing that some of these physique guys are coming in. They're coming in a little fuller, but it's not like they're not ruining their physiques. I think it's very helpful for the sport.
Yeah.
Okay. Abbas?
Well, everybody, I'm glad, Urs came up there because first and foremost, he was limiting himself by staying down in that weight class in the classic. Plus, I saw something that Chris Cormier said, and I always agree with Cormier about his posing. Posing is very essential, and a lot of these guys, their posing is off. Even in between their quarter turns, you got to stay tight. You got to be like a fucking military robot turning around and being graceful and moving your hands and flowing and being beautiful on stage like the old days. I mean, Classic brought it to Classic. Now Urs brought it to the Open, which is going to be great.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah,
it's going to push other guys. I mean, I hope it pushes other guys. I think a lot of these mass busters think that they just have to hit the most muscular side chest and crap shot. And, listen, I mean, I was at my heaviest when I competed, I was 242 on stage, but I still posed Classic. But yeah, I hit my, hard shots, but for the most part, it was very graceful.
Yeah. Urs's posing routine, best routine on the stage, right? I mean, he blew Quinton away. So, and Sergio too. Sergio puts on a routine, and I think his routine was better than Sergio's. And it's just like, and Samson too. Samson's routine that he did was 6 weeks out, beautiful, right? Same thing, kind of like Urs. Urs fit that kind of same kind of pose that Samson did too. Classic pose. So it's a shot at the bow of the men's open division that you're going to have more classic physique guys come up that have smaller waists, have classic shape, but that are 260 pounds like Urs, and they're going to come and beat you. They're going to beat you guys.
I think also it's good for the judges. When the judges start rewarding these physiques, I think guys are going to be like, man, hey, look, these guys, I can come down 6 or 7 more pounds, keep my midsection real hard, lower back's going to be drier. I think from that standpoint, it's really going to help overall with the physiques, as long as people start getting rewarded for the smaller type midsections.
Yes.
Because I can tell you, like when I first started my career, I had a small, towards the end, my obliques just kept getting bigger, kept trying to get my legs bigger. And, it happens to most guys. And a lot of times, to be honest with you, it happens to guys, starts happening to guys over 40.
I think because the appendages start atrophying, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, okay. I mean, I'm a stickler for waists, right? As we know with Nick Walker. Bill, what do you have you seen when Nick Walker is relaxing on stage?
Yes.
Have you seen his midsection, and do you think it's an issue? And what do you think is causing his midsection to be like that?
I don't think it's
what
one
Bill
in
just said.
particular.
Here's the thing. They've been rewarding size for a good little while now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you got to understand. Now, look at like Flex Wheeler. Look at all these guys when they were chasing Ronnie Coleman, even Jay Cutler. Because I remember when I met Jay Cutler, he was up and coming, and he had a great structure.
Yeah.
Once they see rewarding the size, everybody now starts putting on the size to chase that next person.
That's it.
Right? So now, of course, the waist is going to go heavy squats, heavy bent over rows. If you notice, the stomach always expands when you're doing a bent over row heavy. It naturally expands. I don't care if you wear a belt; it automatically expands. Heavy leg press, same thing, right? So if you're trying to pack on size and shoveling food, the waist is going to grow. I didn't believe Nick Walker needed to put on any more size. I mean, the size he has now is just completely insane. I don't think it's necessary. It's making his waist now look more on the more blockier side. So once again, I'm happy, and I hope that with rewarding these classic physique or 212, with its nice structure and good shape, that now the criteria tends to change and lead towards that more aesthetic, pretty, eye-appealing of physique on stage. I hope it does get to that point, because right now, it's not showing the sport. It's just showing the sport's just not even healthy. But then it's, Nick Walker's Nick Walker. Even with his waist slightly expanding, they give certain individuals favors. He's still going to be in the top 3, regardless of how his stomach expands. And it's sad. But listen, at the end of the day, like Bill said, I'm happy to see, now we got Prodigy jumping into a show after the Olympia. I'm loving this show.
That's going to shake up everything.
I'm loving it.
Go ahead.
That's going to shake up everything.
Oh man. If he depends who's going to be in that pro show after the Olympia. Keone, I don't know who else is going to jump in. That's going to be like, we never know who's going to jump in that show. If Keone wins, which you would think he would based on how he looks, I think what Keone is doing is smart. He's preparing. He's just getting people, give him a taste that I can hang with these open guys and I can beat him. And then he's going to do the 2026 Open. I don't think he does another 212. Even Phil Heath was like, "Why? You're in the wrong class now, Keone."
He's doing the right thing though. He's taking his time.
Yeah. There's a strategy behind it. He's just doing a test run in the Open because he hasn't done it yet, right? Yeah. So
honestly, Matt, I think he picked the right show. I honestly firmly believe. I don't think whoever enters that show, nobody's coming in looking like Keone. You can't even outmuscle him because the guy he's dense, he's round, he has that 3D look. So honestly, my opinion, and it's only my opinion, I don't care who jumps in that show, unless it's going to be Samson Dowda. I don't see anyone beating Keone. I think he made the right move on picking that show after the Olympia.
I agree.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So overall, this is a great thing that's happening in bodybuilding. And that's why I say this is a historic moment that Urs beat these guys clearly, like way ahead in the points, to show you that classic and tight waist and a good presentation, great presentation it means something now. And we got to go back to that. You got Keone with the tight waist. So that's why I'm so like, people say I'm a Nick Walker hater. I'm not a Nick Walker hater. I still think he's going to be in the top somewhere. But and I said, if he could control that waist or figure it out, but I think it's gone too far. Like he's blown it out, unfortunately, because he's chasing the size and he's 5'6", and you can only put muscle so much in that area where on your body is, where else is going to go. So
I have a question. I have a question for you when you say he's chasing size.
Yeah.
What else is he supposed to do? Like, how can he, think of it like this. He's 20. Yeah. How old is he? 30?
31 now.
30, yeah.
Okay, how can he train, take gear, get peeled, and put on that muscle and not put on muscle? His body's prone to grow. I don't know, so you know what I'm saying? Like certain people, like I could never get that big. My body wouldn't get that big. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But so like for me, it's like one of those things where we're gonna knock him for his midsection, his size, but what else can he do? He's a freak. It's like saying Marcus Roll will look like Flex Wheeler.
Exactly. And we're just hoping, we're just saying, he is a freak. He's an amazing competitor. He's won pro shows. He's won the Arnold. He's won the New York Pro twice. So he's accomplished. But is this what's going to represent the Super Bowl, the Mr. Olympia,
No,
right?
I get it.
Right. Because that's why I said, if Nick Walker wins, I made a video about this. I said, if he wins the show, it's going to change the sport. It's going to this is where we're headed. Whoever wins the Mr. Olympia is that's the role model. That's the ideal standard that they're looking for. So if they make Nick Walker the ideal standard, when he has a big midsection hanging out, when he's relaxing in between the poses, and then you have Samson Dauda making a statement saying you're being judged in between the poses at all times when you're standing on the side of the stage, right? So does Nick Walker get a pass? Does he get to stand on the stage with his gut hanging out, unhealthy, breathing heavy? Like that's not a good look for the sport. Is that what you want the Mr. Olympia to be? So I hope the judges hear this. They see this, and you got a really hard decision to make. If Nick Walker looks really, really good and he's shredded and he's kind of outposing some of these guys in the side chest and the side tricep, the back double, he looks great. But then when he relaxes and he starts breathing heavy because he's getting pushed round through round, they don't just give it because he's popular, people love him, he's great, whatever. I just hope they don't do that. But we're gonna see. I hope the Samson comes in so fucking good that you can't even deny him, and he's gonna win again.
Well, that one post you put up the other day, Matt, was with the silhouette. That was beautiful. That was perfect.
Yeah, the silhouette. I can show that actually too.
Yeah, that was great.
It's a good.
Exactly. And then on top of that, I mean, Bill, back in the day, I mean, when everybody's put on the side of the stage, you still stayed tight. You still had your lats flare out and you hit your quads the whole time. You did not sit there with your hands on your waist or anything like that, Come on.
For sure. We practiced like that. That was part of it.
Shit, come on now.
Yeah, you're right. We practiced that.
I mean, and that was 40 guys in a class. Come on. You know how many times you had to go back out there?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can see it right there. I mean, I don't know. I mean, and people are so impressed with Nick's size, and he is a mass monster. But at the end of the day, I mean, that's not what I prefer as a bodybuilder, right? I want
kind of even an average guy. They're going to be like, just take the names. What physique do you like better here?
Of course, Samson's silhouette's going to win probably 80% of the time. Yeah. So that is that with Nick Walker. I want to kind of go into what I put on the thumbnail, which was Quinton, and you guys can probably get a little bit more experience with this. This I did not see before in Texas. This was not there, and it's like I said, I have OCD, so it's anything that's out of place or anything. I'm just going to get distracted by it. So that's a hernia, right?
Yeah, it's a hernia.
It's a hernia. Okay.
A lot of you gotta look at Martin had that last year. Somebody else had that. I don't think the judges really judge against that, but Yeah, Martin's was sticking out really bad last year, and it was another competitor. I can't remember who it was. It was sticking out as well. Yeah, I didn't notice that.
Now, he's going to have surgery on that in the off season or something.
That's the best time is right after the show. I had that happen to me, a little small one right above my umbilical, on my belly button. It's just an umbilical hernia. They just push it in, put a little mesh, sew it up, and that's it. It's about 6 weeks off. He needs to do it right now. It's the best time if he's not qualified for Olympia.
Okay. Well, he's doing a show this weekend, which we're going to get into as well. Before we do that, I want to get you guys' take on this too, because clicking on the wrong screen. Qualifications for the Mr. Olympia. I made this one here. I can't play it though. But right here. Let me just zoom in. So for the Olympia, and I want to get your guys' take because I haven't talked to any of you guys about this. My opinion is that there should be no more automatic qualifications for the Mr. Olympia. Okay? Even if you win the Mr. Olympia, you shouldn't be automatically requalified to compete in the Mr. Olympia. Why is that? Just like, and people say, well, you can't compare this to football or the NBA or whatever. But in those sports, even in the Olympics, if you win first place gold medal, you don't get to stay and come back automatically to the Olympics and wait for all the other athletes to come and compete against you. Okay, you got to go back, go through the trials, go through the regional shows, whatever, qualify, get your ass back to the Olympics. Okay, why is it that the Olympia gives first, second, and third automatic qualifications back to the Olympia? First off, just on that top part, do you guys agree there should be no more automatic qualifications, or do you think there should be? I want to ask Phil this. There should be automatic requalification for first, second, third at the Mr. Olympia.
I disagree. I think it should stay the top three. The reason being is, as much as we want to compare this professional sport to other professional sports, technically it isn't. This sport is just not mainstream, and it never will be. Sadly to say, it's just not. So it's kind of hard, to put it with those other sports. Now, I'm happy they only brought it to the top three. They used to have the top five, and I thought that was ridiculous because that now in the regional shows, nobody's competing. So I believe the top three. I firmly believe that that's good. I don't think they should not have them not qualify. Once again, they're not like the other pro sports. Bodybuilding is not. I don't want to say it's not the same, but it isn't the same. Honestly, this is a whole different. People will have to say too that bodybuilding physically isn't a sport. Technically, scientifically, if you put it down, it's what do? We don't physically strike. We don't physically run. We don't physically hit anything. I mean, basically, we're glorified pageant people on stage in posing trunks. I hate to say it. I mean, we are. You know what I mean? So,
that's why I brought up the Olympics. That's why I brought up the Olympics, because you do have track athletes, sprinters. They have to fucking all year training, eating, dieting, working out, cardio. It's kind of like a bodybuilder without the drugs, so to speak.
Right.
They're very regimented, and they have to requalify, even though they win the fucking Olympics, right? World stage. They have to go back to the start again. And so, and they have to diet, and they have to train, and they fucking sacrifice, and that's all. 8 hour a day, fucking all they do is working out and training to get ready for the Olympics.
If bodybuilding was mainstream, and then you have to go through water drug testing and all those qualifications, then it would be a different story. Like if bodybuilding was in the Olympics, then no, they can't automatically qualify. You get what I'm saying? If you look at it, but all these other sports have legal drug testing, so they can get away with that. Where honestly, bodybuilding, there's a difference now. We got to look at it. There's a federation, and then there's a private league. Technically, IFBB Pro League is a private league. It's not a federation. They used to be when they were united. So technically, they're not. So there's a lot of aspects you got to look at that won't justify them to have everybody requalified. They could do what the hell they want. You know what I mean? But man, I wish it could be that way, but it's logically it just won't be that way. I think the top three is good. Top five was too much.
That and yeah, and Lee is kind of chiming in on it, and Lee Priest, welcome. He's kind of saying like, yeah, everyone should qualify. It's just going to make it better for the sport and for the spectators, and it's going to make the athletes work harder. And you're going to have these guys compete more. And look at even Samson Dauda, Derek. They competed more than just the Olympia this year. They went in or last year. They did the Olympia, then they did the Arnold, and then Samson did the France Pro. Derek did the Pittsburgh Pro, and it was so exciting to have these guys back on stage competing again. And battling each other, it just makes it more entertaining. It's more like you really don't know what's going to happen. Maybe Samson does the Tampa Pro because he has to now qualify on points, and someone beats him at the Tampa Pro. It's crazy. It gives other athletes an opportunity to stand next to the Olympia champion on these open pro shows.
What about the automatic qualifications though? Like once you become Mr. Olympia, you can always continue. That I don't agree with. Like once you become Mr. Olympia, you're qualified for life.
I still think they should requalify, but there's a thing that I kind of didn't mention in the video. What I think maybe would apply to a Mr. Olympia champion, if you're going to have to qualify on points, if all the pros are going to have to every year requalify on points to get to the Olympia, and they say the top 15 or 25 like they have now, I had it at the top 15. Point getters would requalify for the Olympia. If you win the Mr. Olympia, you get to start the new year with a little bit of a bonus 10 points or something going into the season. So you start with a little bit of head start because you won the big show, but you still got to qualify on points, but you get a bonus 10 or 15 points to start the season even before you start to do your first show.
Yeah.
It gives you a little bit of, right? A little bit of a, gives you a little bit of buy going into the preseason, right? So that's kind of a way around still giving the Mr. Olympia champion a little bit of extra cushion before, he competes for the season. I just think it'd be cool, man. Like you got to prove yourself as look at Samson won the Mr. Olympia, then he lost 2 months later at the Arnold.
Yeah, that's true.
So you're vulnerable, right? And it makes you got to work hard.
You know why that is? And back in our day versus now, why it's totally different.
Yeah.
Like if you compete now and you're a top guy, there is no way on earth I'm doing one show when I could win $500,000 doing the Arnold.
That's another reason.
$100,000 winning the Pittsburgh Pro Show. Back in the day, listen, if you win the Olympia, I don't think to me it would make sense to do a show for $10,000. The amount of money that you're making there.
Okay, you're right. That's a good point.
I mean,
that's a good point.
Now it's
There's more incentive.
Like as far as like if you're an Olympia program now, you make what, 600,000 it is?
Yeah.
You win the Arnold, that's another $500,000. I mean, to me, you can't do this long. I don't know why you wouldn't. Now, if it was along the lines of, okay, you're going to do a $10,000 show. I mean, at that level, you're not even making your money back up. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
That's why, in my opinion, the Masters Olympia is not getting the push that it does, and people like my man right here, Phil, would get the respect that he would do, that he should get from being second or first in the Masters Olympia. I mean, I don't know what the prize money is, but
20 grand is nothing. It's 20 grand. That's
I mean,
yeah.
Like when I did the Masters World Championship, it was 100 grand. I mean, I won 30,000 for taking third.
Damn.
So, yeah. I mean, if you're a pro at a high level, I mean, man, other than a qualification to do a show, like it's not making me like, man, I want to make a comeback.
Right.
$100,000, okay, $150,000.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, I agree with that. With the way the shows were in the past years, where you get 10,000 if you win a pro show, yeah, Mr. Olympia is not going to come back for that, right? So and have to requalify on points for that. That would
even 20.
make even 20, right? But now you have 3 or 4 shows that pay out 100,000.
Big money.
Right, and then now fuck the Arnold 750 plus 250 at the UK. There's $1 million right there. Yeah. So. Regardless of
Crazy
this point,
Crazy to do one show.
It does make sense to do one show anymore.
No.
So that's why I think there needs to be no more automatic qualifications for the Mr. Olympia, because there are these shows that are paying 100,000 plus. So
I think next year's Arnold is going to be stacked. And
it's going to be stacked.
I
For
think
sure.
Prodigy is going to be in that Arnold as well. So I'm trying
Yeah,
to tell you that money he raised, we're going to see Samson. It's going to be everybody and their grandmother competing in that show for that type
everybody.
of money.
Nick's going to be there. He already said he's going to be there. Everyone is going to be there. So you're right, man. It's going to be crazy. And then we're going to see what the Mr. Olympia does. Are they going to up it on the night of the show? And when he walks out there, Jake walks out and says, "Hey guys, the first place actually is going to be 800,000." I think he's going to say 800. If he doesn't
Yeah, they're not
announce
going to go to
anything,
a million. It's not going to happen.
no, no.
No.
They have to announce something. If he doesn't announce something, everyone's going to be like, "Well, Mr. Olympia, Arnold is pays more than a Mr. Olympia."
They've always had a race back and forth to, up the prize money. Arnold always the one that pushed it higher.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Thank God for Arnold, because it might still be at 400,000 right now if at the Olympia, if it wasn't for that battle they're having right now with who's going to pay out the most. Okay, let's go quick.
Like it.
Exactly. So we got the Europa in Germany. This Dennis James show that he puts on, and huge lineup. Really good to see this. I think. I mean, obviously, everyone's trying to qualify for the Olympia, but there's only a couple people that are going to be able to do this. You got Urs back in this. Quinton is doing it. Amir, William Martin, big dude. Roman Fritz is doing it. Louis Breed is doing it. And then Mark Hector. I can't see. Yeah, Mark Hector right there. He's doing it. So kind of a rematch from last week in Italy, here going to Germany. And what do you guys think? Is Urs gonna easy repeat here? Just come in shape, tight, keep it dry.
He'll probably look better.
Hometown advantage, Germany.
I don't think. I mean, hometown advantage.
I know. I'm just
doesn't mean anything after I saw Steve Kokos lose in Texas when we competed. No, but on a serious note, I mean, Urs is only going to be a smidgen better. You know what I'm saying? I think the lineup, the placings are going to be almost the same as that, because it's going to have the same judge as well. So I think the lineup is going to be the same. Urs just looks too amazing, man. I just got to give it to him. Even Quinn's my boy. I love Quinn.
Yeah.
But I mean, how much better? If you're looking at the point spread, how much better can Quinton come back to make up that point spread from last week? This week, he's already did how many shows? This is going to be his fourth show.
That's a lot on the body.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot on his body. So I just see Hurst coming back and winning this, and that's going to make a staple for him going into the Olympia if he's able to win 2 back-to-back in tough lineups like he has.
For sure.
Yeah, agreed. Sergio. Okay, well, before we go there, so we got and then Mark Hector. Mark looks good, but he's a little bit maybe imbalanced a little bit. He's a big dude, thick, good proportion, but the balance in the lats and things are a little bit off. And his posing could improve. So I don't think he's going to be able to take out Urs. Yeah, Quinton, even if Quinton comes in drier, which I'm assuming they're going to try and do. But what do you think is the issue with Quinton? And here, we'll take a look here. What do you like when you look at this, Phil, from filling out carbing? What do you think happened? What he wasn't as full, and his abs are kind of washed out, like they're not really showing. So when that happens, when the obliques are gone, did he not carb enough? Did he overcarb? Is it a diuretics thing?
I don't, the diuretics I can't speak about. I mean, Tampa, from what the pictures I saw prior into the show, I believe diuretics did pull a play to pull him tighter for the Tampa. I don't know. What I see here is, if you looked at Quinton about a week out, or a week and a half out, he was peeled, right? But he looked at undersized. The thing with Quinton is he hasn't really nailed. He has his structure in his body. He could put on a lot of size on the off season. For some reason, though, it doesn't stick. Like Tampa's size was good. He just had to be a little bit tighter. This show, I don't know what happened in Texas, but this show here, he was really tight, but he can't get drawn down that tight for some reason, because then everything just tends to fall apart when he gets to the show. But this here is where I think he should have worked off of, because that he looks good from the back. His legs, he looks good. But then when he draws down more, it takes away from everything. So I think when they were carving him up, he didn't want to over carb. You get what I'm saying? If that makes sense. So I don't know how they went about it. And the thing is, he has a physique that's so difficult to nail because he's very intelligent and he prepares himself and he gets, people's feedback, his close friends. I think that could be a mistake when you have too many people in your ear. I firmly believe that's a mistake. But I think once Quinton nails his peak, he's struggling with nailing his peak. Once he does that, I think he'll be good. So if I was Quinton's coach, which I'm not, I would say, man, fill up. Keep the water probably to a liter or probably a liter and a half. The last 2 days into, of course, the day before you can't really drink water. You gotta take sips, 2 ounces, 4 ounces, whatever, and just load up on some dry freaking carbs and bring that full, dense, dry, shredded in his chest, fuller look. He has to go for a fuller look.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm thinking he's struggling with. He's struggling with really nailing his peak. That's the problem.
So what I see here, like you can see this is a week out, okay? And the chest, this is a week out. You can see his pecs here, a little bit of fullness under the pecs, okay? Now he's continuing the diet. Here he is. It's almost gone. It's almost gone.
That's what I'm saying.
See, the thing is, it could be stress, or they could be pulling water. It could be even cortisol levels, aldosterone levels. It could be multiple things. It could be his body just getting towards a fourth show, just getting tired, plain and simple.
It's just not pumping. It's not.
Yeah.
Bill, you've done this. You've won a pro shows. You've been at the Olympia. What's your take on when you see a physique kind of like this? It's not popping. The muscle's not bursting full.
It's going to sound funny, but I think everything you guys are saying is a little bit of all of it. Cortisol for sure. And also think of it like this. He's got a lot of pressure on him to nail it. So, and I mean, it's happened to me backstage before. The first round I came out, I was full. By the second round, I was flat as a pancake. Yeah. I mean, what did I do wrong in that standpoint, So it could be something as simple as that, because I mean, he has so much potential and everybody's looking for him to bring this crazy look. He's so close to being there, and he could just, the nerves could take over and cortisol dump and everybody bring his best on stage.
Everybody really, honestly, in bodybuilding, because it's me from my wrestling background. That's what I bring when I compete for a show. That's what I believe I'm getting ready for a wrestling match, even though I'm a bodybuilder. That's my brain mentality. And one thing about me is meditation. So me, when I'm getting into, in the States and I have a big match, everybody has some level of stress or butterflies in their stomach.
Absolutely.
It's how you mentally control that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can have all the pressure. I mean, I had pressure, especially going into this Master Olympia, regardless of who was in it or not in it. I knew I had to produce, and I knew everybody was looking to see if Phil can be better than last year, because last year I just wasn't great. Right. And I would tell, Patty would be like, why are you putting so much pressure on yourself? I said, you don't understand. I mean, this show costs a lot of money. Regardless if I got $5,000 to help out, I'm still spending another $7,000 to $8,000 of my own money, right? And I'm putting myself in a small debt to go in there and dominate, to provide for my family, right? So that level of stress. And she's like, don't put it on. I said, no, I can handle putting stress on myself because it makes me work harder. Right? So I think it's how you balance it. Quinton, he's still young. So like Bill said, everybody is saying, he's a future next Mr. Olympia. And yes, that affects you. But what he has to understand is, hey, you know what? I'm young. I need to take my time in this game, learn how to be comfortable on that stage, not shake. When the grind gets tough and you're being ran through poses, don't get nervous.
Right.
When I used to compete with Quinton, I used to always be behind him when he's in the top call out. And I'm saying, when he's looking at me, I'm like, bro, control your breathing and take your time.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's how you handle it. I think the more time he's on stage, probably he's using the show just for the stage presence to build his gas tank or whatever. But he has a bright future. He just has to have the right person in his corner. You can't have numerous of people telling you do this, do that, do this, do that, it will become very confusing. And now that's more stress on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just see like here, doesn't it look like there's a glaze, like a haze over his body, like water? I don't know what it is.
How old
It's
is he?
not.
I think Quinton's 30. I think he just turned 30.
Yeah, that should be coming into. I mean, he should be coming into the prime of getting like the mature muscle at that time. So I think it's just a combination of everything that we said. And also one thing you said, Phil, is breathing. People don't know how to breathe on stage, and then the day or two before the show, they may have too many things going on. I had a client that was fucking ripped, and then he brought his family, and he had to deal with this kid, that kid, wife. I'm like, dude, you shouldn't have brought your family. I told you need to be calm. Come on stage, he was flat and looked soft. Because the cortisol, stress, you got to keep calm. I had nobody in my room the day of the show. Maybe just my trainer, and that was it. Everybody had to go. So I don't know. But doing 4 shows, that's a lot on the body, though.
That's a lot.
Especially the bigger you are.
Absolutely. You know that, Bill.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I never pushed past 3 was my limit. I would never push myself to a 4 show.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense for me.
Yeah,
And even the best thing to do is do them back to back to back. If it's like 3 shows within a matter of 3 weeks or 4 weeks, that's great. Then take the rest of the year off. But these guys doing shows 3 months later or another 2 months later, that's too much on the body. That's too much up and down. I try to tell my clients or anybody like, hey, pick a show that's back to back or within 2 to 3 weeks. That's easy to control.
Yeah.
Right. Who's this?
This is Sergio.
Oh,
Now-
man.
Now, this is what Sergio said. Bodybuilding is about timing. Most guys post pics saying I looked good the day before, mostly the day after. I have never in my life seen anyone fuck up their whole prep in 4 hours. If you swipe, you can see I sent these pics to my coach 4 hours before prejudging. Still needed improvement, but eating more food in my stomach was not the move. So is that a dig at his coach? Without subliminally saying, right? He's like, still needed improvements, but eating more food in my stomach wasn't the move.
What does that
'Cause
mean?
he's-
Not the move?
I don't know what that means, but my thing is, wasn't his coach at that show because he's
Stefan,
he's
it's Boss
right.
About the guy that won the show. Urs is the same coach.
Right. So why would he be sending pictures 4 hours before your coach is there? That's the question.
Good point. Is Stefan kind of staying in the room by his Urs, his prize athlete, or is he kind of?
I don't know. I don't know. All I
That's
know
what happened
is,
to Quinton. That's what happened to Quinton and Nick Walker.
Yeah. Here's my thing, and normally that's the case when you have that's what you got to be concerned about when you have a coach that has some top people on their team, and that's you got to make your judgment when you're picking that coach, knowing that as well. So us as adults, we've got to have some common sense, right?
Yep.
But here's the thing with Sergio. I'm a fan of Sergio. I'm looking back in 2017, 18, when Sergio physique was just so beautiful. It was like its dad, his waist.
Yeah, he looked good.
I saw him when he battled that guy in Puerto Rico and Tampa. That was a freaking battle. And even though he didn't win, they still gave him the invite anyway to go to the Olympia. That show was amazing. What I don't understand, but I'm going to go back to what I said. Everybody believes to place well in the IFBB Pro League, you got to put on as much size as you possibly can. Sergio physique can't handle putting on that size because I've never seen his waist each year look so thick at all. It just throws off his physique. And, he's not young anymore. So when I was looking at him compete, because I'm such a fan, and I'm seeing his stomach super sticking out from the side. And then when he does the lat spread, his waist is as wide as his lats. So it's really messing with me because, listen, as you get older, you have to be careful with pushing protein and pushing tons of carbs. You just have to. I laid off the protein. I brought my protein all the way down, honestly, to 7 to 8 ounces. You know what I mean? As you get older, your body and digestion is just not going to digest things the way it does when you were younger. So this picture looks great. I don't know what happened from then to him stepping on stage, but if you have to send your coach pictures, once again, and he's at that same show, that don't make sense to me.
I think I'm a bit frozen. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Okay.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Can hear
His waist did look bigger on stage than say here. And if the move, like for me, what I'm taking from this is when he says, can't read it there. The move was not the right move to be eating more. His coach is telling him what to eat. Okay, I don't think he's just feeding himself freely there. I think that's the dig at his coach. Maybe I'm wrong. Sergio can DM me and rant at me if he wants, if I'm wrong, but that's they get your coach. But Sergio, you've been doing this a long time. If you think you're eating too much and you don't need that, then you got to make the call and stop it or question your coach. Did you question your coach? Did you question Stefan when you didn't think it was the right move to eat that much? Now he does say, I've never in my life seen anyone fuck up their prep in 4 hours. That's kind of open ended. Is it you or is it Stefan or is it a team effort here? Like what? So it's very open ended statement, and I don't know. I don't know if it's even that's the issue. I think his structure, his conditioning is good.
Yeah.
I think it's just his structure is an issue, especially from the back poses. It's thick. It is what it is. The back isn't well developed still at his age in his career. With your dad, with the genetics that he has, you think could have built up that back better, but it's just not there yet. Still, he's not at the beginning of the career. I think he's near maybe the middle to the end of it. So you think you would have a little bit more better developed back, and you wouldn't be beat by Urs, who comes out of nowhere and really destroys that show. So I don't know what it says about a lot of these open bodybuilders and about Sergio. I mean, Sergio can keep battling. He's not doing Germany. I think he should go do it just to do it and see if he can improve, but he's shutting it down. Seems kind of pissed off. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of chime in on that because it seemed like a little bit of a dig at the coach, subliminally in that.
Well, Sergio did say in the beginning of the year that he believes, because this guy carries his heart on his shoulder, bro. He's very emotional.
Yeah, he does.
And he said that he believes he's just such a disappointment, because of being saying he looks like his dad. I mean, once again, that's pressure as well. And he just noticed he hasn't won a show. I think, man, it was in New York Pro. God knows how long ago that was.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I don't know. All I can say is to Sergio is playing the size game as you get older, it does not work. It will cause your waist to get thick. My strategy is tons of vacuums. I live with a waist trainer, so I don't sleep in it, but I train and do cardio. That's how I get my waist down. And then, as you get older, you got to wash the skin on your lower back. Where you can see the back of his trunks, he had a little bit of skin and some subcutaneous water back there. You got to do tricks. Some people don't believe it. You got to, I remember, Matt, you mentioned Preparation H, but there is like a cream out there. I'm not going to give my secret that really, really works with tightening the skin.
You got to tell me, Phil. You got to tell me what this is.
I'll tell you, Preparation H really doesn't work. It's a short, temporary thing, but it's just good with pulling out subcutaneous water. But this cream I used, oh my God, after freaking 4 weeks, it was ridiculous.
Okay.
Like any skin. Because you saw, I was battling with skin underneath my chest, my stomach.
I was worried.
You saw the true pictures I was prepping for the show, and then you saw it just disappear. So I'll tell you what the cream is. But as you get older, we all know the activity of your skin isn't the same, putting on size, and it's just not the same. So as you get older, you got to play the game a little bit smarter. You know what I mean? So I wish him the best of luck, man. I hope he's not done, but I read his face when he was holding his medal. It's like he was defeated, and I think he's thinking about it might be over.
Potentially could be. Well, I
hope he does.
I said go do Germany, man. Just you're shredded. Just go do it. Don't get caught up in your head about this stuff. Just keep going. So but it doesn't look like he's going to do that. Before we wrap up here, we'd like to keep it within an hour, a little bit over. Derek Lunsford. This is not that old. 4 days old. Here, 6 weeks out. Is he on track? Like we're seeing Nick look shredded and dry already. You're looking Samson, and then you see Derek.
One
And I'm
question I
like,
want to ask is why did he switch coaches? He did great
Which one?
last year with Chris.
Derek?
No, he didn't have Chris last year.
Oh, I thought he
He had
did.
Hani. He had Hani last year.
For the Olympia, he had Hani 2024
Yeah.
Olympia.
Okay, but I thought he went to Chris.
Yes, for the Arnold, which he won.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
I thought he's with somebody else.
No, still with
okay.
Chris.
He said with Chris.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, this happened before with Derek before the Arnold. We're like, oh man, he looks a little soft. I don't know. And then he just destroyed the Arnold. So maybe this is just the way Chris Aceto does it for Derek.
Yeah.
Because it did work. It did work.
It's to preserve him from looking stringy on stage.
Yeah.
You remember, normally he used to be in way further conditioning when he was in Hottie. I think he has to play it a little bit differently. The only thing is, too, that can backfire by you trying to push too much with, let's say, diuretics and, up in the cardio at the last minute to try to pull water and pull body fat. Because you got to remember, he has to watch his legs. That's his big thing.
Yes.
Is not let his legs go. So this philosophy here is try to hold on to as much as possible. And then probably the last 2 weeks, they really, really push with, this is just me assuming, this is not fact, with the cardio and some diuretics and try to pull that skin even tighter and be shredded. So I don't think that's a smart idea, but if it worked for the Arnold, the only thing is with me is I think it's just very hard to peak for the Olympia after doing 2 shows. I just think it's very hard to do.
Yeah. Agreed. Is he getting burnt out?
I don't know if I'm going to add on to that, though. The thing is, I mean, going back to Bill, back in, I hate to keep saying going back in time, but 15, 20 years ago, nobody was shredded or even close to the condition as these guys were at 4 or 5 weeks out, 6 weeks out, 7 weeks out. These guys are walking around with shredded glutes. To be honest, that's not healthy. Going around, walking around like that for 8 weeks. So, I mean, we timed it just right that you looked perfect that 2 weeks.
I'm gonna add to that.
Yeah.
And it goes to the point where it's content now. Back in the day, I remember I never posted a picture of what I look like a couple weeks out from a show because one, I didn't care for people's opinion because I wasn't trying to peak that day.
That's right.
Let's just say I took those pictures. Let's say he's super flat, or, it even gets to a point now where people, they wait longer in between sets so they can do the perfect video.
I saw that. I just saw that, man. And I said the same thing about this. They're doing a set and then look here, watching their fucking video in between a set. And then they come and talking to each other.
It's just a different day. It's a different day and age.
And there's not one.
Right.
And it's also it's a wow factor that's gone. The same thing. I was on a podcast last week with King Kamali, and they were talking about Samson being on stage 6 weeks out from the show, and it was crickets in there. Nobody was even applauding like crazy. It's like people are so used to seeing these people, then they see them on stage at the Olympia. Hey man, I saw you 3 days ago in the bathroom before the show.
Well, we didn't have this. We didn't have this.
We didn't have that. Nobody posted because nobody wanted anybody to see what everybody looked like.
Yeah.
I can see working out in a tank top. You know what I mean? Maybe some shorts every now and again while you're training legs, but a flat out shirt off, hitting every pose. It's just I'm old school. It's it's hard for me to relate to that.
Listen, man.
It's like, okay, you look like when I saw you a week ago.
No, and that's the fact, and that's why I tell Matt, I don't like posting pictures because here's the thing: you don't show up like those pictures claim you look on stage, then you're getting backlash from everybody, right? So I'm like you guys. I mean, I'm 51 years old. I believe that save what you have for a stage, you know what I mean, and just keep your head down and train. That's what I did as a wrestler. My head was always down. I was in my zone, putting my miles in, running. You know what I mean? But we're in a different time now, so everything is social media now. Different time, different age.
Yeah, but social media is not the stage. That's what they're making the social media the stage.
Yep.
The stage is not the stage anymore.
Right.
It's like, I filtered all these pictures, and then you come to the show, just like you said, Phil. and they don't look like it because they're filtering the pictures.
That
Stop.
too.
Stop. Just get your
That's what
ass
Samson
pumped
got
up.
kind of beat. Yeah, Samson
Oh.
would do that. He'd filter the pictures, and then he'd go into the Olympia and be like, "Oh, he doesn't look like that. He's not that ripped." But this time, he finally came in ripped and won the Olympia. But
Yeah.
it can backfire.
I think the direction. I just want him to be very careful because that midsection being that flat is awesome. When he pulls that vacuum, when I saw him guest pose, he looks phenomenal. I just hope he doesn't lose that wow factor, that bubbly, thick. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going against Hadi Chupon, you're going to be going against Derek, you're going to be going against Nick, Martin. You just don't want to still lose. Be conditioned, but don't be conditioned too much because we know if you get too conditioned, you can't have the best of both worlds. Either you're going to be slightly flat, you know what I'm saying? So you got to be very careful. So I hope he's very careful because the face I see on him, the tightness, I've never seen before. So he is listening to what everybody is saying. Just be careful and don't push it too much.
Too far.
Yes.
And coming kind of looking like what happened to Quinton in New York, where he just looked like depleted away to nothing. And we're like, oh, what the hell happened to Quinton? So that could potentially happen to Samson if he over diets and over depletes and is too lean, too long with a big body like that, and he's never really done this before. What if we're like, man, he looks really downsized when he's on the Olympia stage, and oh shit, we didn't like he's shredded, but he's so like he's smaller looking. That could backfire. So he's gonna be there's pressure to get it just right, man.
Yeah, it is. It's pressure.
So, all right, guys, well, we'll wrap it up there, man. Appreciate you guys, Bill, Abbas, Phil, man, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Yes,
We're gonna be
guys.
back next
Thank you,
week.
Bill. Thank you, Abbas. Appreciate
you,
being
guys.
on here with you guys.
Bill,
It was a
good
blast.
Awesome. Good show.
Sounds good.
Good show.
Thanks,
Okay.
guys.
See you guys. Take care. Peace.